great concert coming up in St. Mary's at the Theater and Grand Opera House. And joining me today with the Neverly Brothers Band, he is the lead singer of the front band. We've got Kevin Giragosin, and thanks for joining us, Kevin.
Thanks for having me on. We're excited to come out there to St. Mary's. This will be our first time visiting this town and playing at the Grand Opera House.
Yeah, they've done a lot of remodeling. It's beautiful. But tell us about your band. You are in a band with your brother, so give us a little background.
Well, the Neverly Brothers is a concept where we call it a magical history tour experience. We come to a theater like the Grand Opera House in St. Mary's, and the audience fills in. And when we start the show, we let them know they're no longer in an opera house or a theater. They just enter our virtual tour bus. We're the tour guides. We're going to set the time machine to 1957. We start our tour by traveling around America, going from city to city to celebrate the pioneers of rock and roll, their significance. I give a little bit of information, historical trivia between the songs, and then we move on to another city. For instance, we might go to St. Louis for Chuck Berry, Sun Records in Memphis, Tennessee, with a plethora of artists there. Brownie, Kentucky, the Everly Brothers, Lubbock, Texas, Buddy Holly. And so we kind of give everyone a basic foundation of rock and roll that was created by the American pioneers back in the 50s. And then we kind of take a break and we change our suits, and we kind of look like what I'm wearing now, more like what the Beatles would look like on Ed Sullivan in 1964. And we go to England and show that all the American music is what inspired the British bands to form and kind of revive rock and roll, which sort of died in 1960. And then we start traveling in our virtual tour bus around England, going from city to city, starting in Liverpool, where the Beatles were originally from. And we play a few songs from them. We go to another city like Manchester, where Herman's Hermits, the Hollies were from. We go up to Newcastle, where the Animals were from. And then we go down to London, where a lot of bands were from, like the Rolling Stones, Dave Clark 5, many others. And we show the whole progression and evolution of rock and roll from American 50s to the British invasion. And it's with songs in a chronological sequence, and it's also with historical footnotes and narration. We also have a large projection screen, or I'm not sure what kind of screens we're going to have, but they're kind of screens there where we project images of the artists and other things that are nostalgic to the eras that enhance the show. We're a three-piece, and it's an unusual setup. My brother plays the drums standing up with only a bass drum and a snare drum, no cymbals or hi-hat. Brushes he uses, but he creates quite a rhythm. He stands next to me. On the other side of me is the bass player with an upright bass fiddle. And I play a guitar that's similar to what John Lennon played in 1964 on A Hard Day's Night, a Gibson guitar. So we have old-fashioned microphones. We've got an image. We bring people into this whole era of the two eras, and it's kind of like the two most important eras of rock and roll from 1955 to 1965.
Yeah, that is a lot of great music. So you're heading to St. Mary's on Friday, May 15th. So get your tickets now. They're available online. The show time's at 7 o'clock. Are you looking forward to going into more like a grand historic theater? Because that's what St. Mary's is, because older music, it's kind of like a good feel.
Yeah, we are excited. I mean, we play in a lot of different places across the country, and I'm always surprised and never ceases to amaze me how many of these historic opera houses there are. It's similar to, I'm sure, what we're going to be experiencing at St. Mary's. There's a lot of history there, and our show is all about the history of rock, and it's a very unique presentation. I don't know any other act that really does it. We've been doing it for 23 years. We're based in the Chicago area, and you can visit their website, which is, I think, the grandoperahouse.com. You can visit our website, theneverlybrothers.com, to see some videos of what the show looks like, but it's going to be a lot of fun. We're looking forward to it.
Yeah, it sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun. Thank you so much for telling us about the show. Get your tickets now. Fill up the Opera House in St. Mary's. Kevin, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me. We'll see you there.
All right, so don't go away. Noon Edition continues in a moment.
Convalescent